your most valuable asset. That's why the NFL looks to Cisco Security, powered by AI, to protect their data from cyber attacks. When the game is on the line, the NFL relies on Cisco.
Drake, kind of what you saw last week from your team, you talked a little bit about it post-game, but you feel like you're getting closer, and what is it maybe that's holding you back a little bit in the red zone with some aggression, things like that, to give you guys optimal offensive performance?
Yeah, I think we moved the ball well. I think, first of all, the Rams, I thought they were, good defense, they're good up front. Obviously, we had some chances, and like you said, down there in the red zone, I think we just got, punched it in. I don't think it was something that they did. I think it's just, on ourselves to, whether it's, fight the extra, go the extra effort, or maybe some little things here or there. But I think we moved the ball well, and those guys, put some good film on tape. So I think, at the end of the game, we had a chance there, and put that on myself to, go, make a play down the stretch, and when I got the ball in my hands to win the game, you want that scenario. So I think we're right there, and like you said, some more successful in the red zone. I think, we've been striving on that and focusing on that. So I think maybe in red zone day this week, or just in general, just, study it more and kind of put some more effort into it.
Drake, you didn't play last time the Patriots played the Dolphins. Just what do you remember about that game? And what did you learn, while sort of watching this happen?
Yeah, I think they fly around. I think they got some. I think I feel like every team we play has got good up front. They're good up front. Calais Campbell's still making plays, and they said he's one of the nicest dudes in the league, but he's still up there trying to take my head off, I'm sure. So they're good in the back end. They got some veterans guys that have played a long time in this league and are good players. And same thing really in the linebacker core. So we got a tall task, but I think. Starts with running the football. I think every week, be able to run the football, and they're going to mix up some looks. So just taking what they give me, and just be smart, protecting the football.
When it comes to leadership and leadership skills specifically, who do you look to as a model? Who's been an important leader for you over the course of your life?
That's a good question. Important leader for me in my lifetime.
Either on or off the field, coach, individual.
Yeah, just being around sports, just watching, I'll probably say my dad. Just watching him, not only a leader in the household, but a leader, in sports in general. He's always, coaching us, growing up, and I think just the way that he approached, forcing me to, as a young age, to get in the huddle and say something to the team or break the team down, little things at a young age. I think my dad kind of introduced me to some things because he played in, had a short stint in the NFL for a little bit. Was with Tampa Bay for a year, but playing in college and playing at a high level, he kind of was introduced and was able to introduce, to his boys about how to lead and what it takes and, what you need and kind of what comes of it.
Drake, you've gotten a lot of praise for your field vision and your process ability. So I'm curious from your perspective, when you're reading a defense, in your head, is it, they're cover 2, they're cover 3? Are you just reading space and leverage, or how are you really seeing the defense and like going through your head? Yeah,
I think that kind of comes natural. I think you always try to check, the safety structure. I think that helps any type of quarterback. But I think kind of the best thing is just spatial reasoning. Like you said, seeing the space or seeing the guy, and that also comes with, feeling the guy out, pause, but just kind of seeing how the route he's kind of run. And I think that comes with kind of time. Hey, Hunter may be doing this against this coverage or maybe versus man. So I think kind of just feeling out kind of the guys and seeing how they run routes versus different, man and zone, and also just getting reps at it. I think that's the biggest thing.
How much more complex is the post-snap stuff at this level compared to what you saw in North Carolina? And how has that kind of been coming to you over these 6 starts?
Yeah, I think defensive coordinators, they try to do the kind of the same type of stuff post-snap, and I think just the guys up front, make it a little tougher post-snap in the NFL. I think you feel a little more pressure, feel a little more heat, and obviously the guys in the back end are better, tighter coverage. So I think, kind of the same type stuff of, kind of fire zones and blitz zones and, bringing 5, bringing 6, or, dropping guys out. I think just the amount of, the tighter windows and maybe the kind of a little more heat you feel up front.
As someone who's naturally as talented as you are, strong arm, you can obviously run around. How have you learned the discipline of letting plays go or not trying to force them, understanding sometimes those lead to turnovers or sacks, and living to see another day, sometimes the best play?
Yeah, I think I got to do a better job of that. I think you mentioned it, kind of may sometimes throwaways kind of the best play or even incompletion. I think at times you saw Jacoby do a great job of that, of, hey, just throwing in the dirt or, even taking a short sack is what we talk about in the quarterback room. I think, TC does a great job of, those little things and those little reminders that can go a long way of, knowing when to do things situationally and I talked about the one in Tennessee where it's a third down and we're at midfield. We got a chance to pin them deep on a punt and I throw interception and causes a short field for the defense. And just little things like that you kind of grow and learn and try not to replicate those mistakes.
Is there a way to practice that though, or like rehearse it? Like
yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough really in practice to kind of just running plays on hey, this is first and second down plays, and I don't think you really get the situational part. I think that's why it's big for having there with AVP and TC. That I think they're so great with so many different experiences of talking through hey, this is what we do and this is what we want you to do, or this is probably the best thing for our football team at this standpoint. Jacoby's great in the game, reminding me, hey, it's not be bad here to think this, or little things like that.
Drake, why do you feel Why do you feel your team has done pretty well offensively at the starts of games recently? You've been very good in the first quarter, at least generating points on most of the drives in the last few games. Why has that been so good?
I think it's credit to AVP and the guys of knowing the first initial calls. I think we studied that hard on Friday and Saturday of knowing, hey, this is the first plays coming out of the ball game, and this is what we're expecting. And I think the guys have really responded well. And I think early on in the year, I think guys kind of lost focus on those, whether first 10 or 15 or 20 plays, and then we had them up on the call sheet, and guys kind of know what they're expecting maybe, or sometimes it doesn't really all come off of the play sheet. But I think the guys have done a good job of studying that up and really focusing on it.
When you change your arming, and you're rolling right and you drop downside, or you're going toward the left sideline, you switch hands, is that a conscious act? Is that instinctive? Where has that ability to do that and deliver the ball on target on time come from?
Yeah, just instinctive, really. I think some of it he probably is like what is he doing out there a little bit, trying to throw away passes and little stuff like that. But that's kind of just instinctive. I think just from growing up, playing whether it's ball in the backyard or little things, just playing different sports. Like I said, changing the arm angle and playing dodgeball or who knows what. So I think just some of it just comes instinctively. I'm just out there playing ball.
Drake, kind of adding on to my earlier question on a podcast, I think Kyle Rudolph mentioned how when he was playing with Brady, he was kind of different from other quarterbacks because instead of running to a specific depth, he'd say, hey, if you're in space, give me your eyes so you're available. Is that kind of how you process, or as a young guy, are you trying to stick more to the details, or is there some kind of balance?
That's what I'm telling Hunter. Hunter and those guys on the field just think, sometimes you're just going out there and playing football. I think sometimes, these guys get into, running the route that's on the, the sheet of paper or at this depth. I think at some point, just turns into playing ball and making plays. So I think we're trying to, figure that out a little bit. I think Hunter and those guys are starting to see it. I think last week on the play that coming back on a penalty, what Hunter did, kind of sitting in the zone and little stuff like that. I think you're gonna start to see a lot of strides in that area and some stuff that with different guys moving around and kind of getting comfortable in their spot. You can see some evolution of kind of different things that will help us make some more plays.
We've seen you targeting Hunter a lot, and he's become a very reliable receiver for you. Just what about him has made him so easy for you to just go to him at any moment?
Yeah. First off, I think he scored like 30 or 40 touchdowns in this league, so he's had a lot of success, and he's done it with a guy, with Phillip in San Diego, who, or quote unquote, and then he was LA with Herbert, some guys that have done it at a high level, and he's seen it out a lot of different looks, and he helps with lining guys up in the huddle, and he's just a true vet and one of the best players on our football team. So I'm trying to get into football.
You balance that you said sometimes just going out there and playing football. How have you learned that as you've gone about your NFL career to start that, even though it's the most complicated game at the highest level, that hey, sometimes it comes down to simply playing football?
Yeah, don't lose it. I think the big thing about football is that I think football is easy and people are complicated. People try to complicate it, and I think the best thing to do at the end of the day is simplify it and try to make it simple and be on the same page. I think we're learning that and kind of feeling our way through that. So there's probably some things that I've done in this season that is probably out of the ordinary, or maybe I'm trying to think this guy may do something that end up being a negative play, but I think down the road it's going to end up leading to some bigger plays for us.
Hunter just told us he sees a lot of similarities between you and a young Herbert. Has he ever talked with you about those days and playing with Justin?
Yeah, I asked Hunter. I asked Hunter a bunch of questions. I think Hunter's a wealth of knowledge. Him and Jacoby and Hooper and David and guys like that are just on the offense at veteran side. He always talks about Herbert. Remember his first start. I think Hunter said he was real nervous coming out there in the huddle, and maybe threw his first one in the stands, kind of like I did in my first one against the Texans. So no, other than that, I think it just his arm talent and he's a great player in this league, but I think Hunter is just a classic example of me trying to soak up information and try to feed one of our best players of football. So, thank you.